You felt it before. That quickening in your chest, that sudden tension in the air. When the people around you seem different, sharper, colder, ready to strike in ways that don't quite make sense. You tell yourself it's just a bad crowd, just a fleeting moment. But deep down, you know something else is happening. You are witnessing a paradox. What once protected you, the drive to belong, to mirror, to silence whatever doesn't fit, is now turning against you. The same internal signal that once kept you safe, that quiet sense of who was friendly and who was dangerous, has been hijacked. And now it feeds cruelty. You're not imagining it. Humans are fundamentally social creatures. Our biology, shaped over millennia, compels us to connect, to follow, to conform. But inside that wiring, there is a shadow. The same mechanisms that once guaranteed survival can, under pressure, amplify aggression, judgment, and callousness. Look around. You see it in online comment sections, in whispered conversations at work, in moments where collective laughter hides something sharper than amusement. You've been in rooms where kindness dissolves into ridicule, where cooperation is replaced by dominance. And you ask yourself, why? The truth is uncomfortable. The instincts that allowed our ancestors to survive can betray us. They are the source of our greatest connection and our deepest cruelty. Cruelty in groups isn't just human failure, it's human survival, distorted. To understand this, we have to step inside the mind. The mechanisms behind group cruelty are not random, and they are rarely conscious. They're part of a deeply wired system, rooted in evolution, social cognition, and survival learning. First, de-individuation. When individuality dissolves inside a group, moral restraint weakens. Anonymity dulls empathy. The brain begins prioritizing group signals over personal ethics. That's why ordinary people can act in ways they never would alone. Then there's hypervigilance, often shaped early in life. A child who learned that survival depends on reading every cue, tone, expression, silence, carries that wiring into adulthood. In groups, the mind scans constantly who has power, who is safe, who must be mirrored. Conformity becomes protection, even when it means cruelty. And finally, social identity. The instinct to divide the world into us and them. Not a moral flaw, a survival strategy. But in modern settings, it fuels judgment, exclusion, and aggression. Combine these forces and cruelty becomes almost inevitable. A room full of people, each scanning for approval, each suppressing empathy, each afraid of standing apart. This isn't rare. It's human nature, and it comes at a cost. Those who conform to cruelty carry invisible wounds, a quiet grief, a part of the self that remembers when kindness felt natural. Carl Jung once wrote, "Everyone carries a shadow, and the less it is embodied in consciousness, the darker it becomes." That shadow thrives in groups. When you laugh at a joke that cuts too deeply, when you stay silent, when you rationalize harm, not because you are evil, but because you are afraid. This is the hidden price of belonging, sacrificing authenticity for acceptance, fear of exclusion, fear of judgment, fear of being seen as weak. Over time, empathy erodes, guilt settles quietly, and cruelty becomes camouflage. You see it everywhere. Passive cruelty disguised as humor, silent complicity, aggression toward outsiders, boundaries quietly abandoned. These aren't acts of sadism, they're survival strategies, outdated ones. The first step isn't judgment, it's witnessing, recognizing the pattern without excusing it, understanding that it once served you, but no longer needs to control you. Healing doesn't mean rejecting your instincts. It means seeing them clearly, choosing awareness over automatic compliance. Imagine entering a group and noticing the tension without surrendering to it, laughing without cruelty, disagreeing without fear, belonging without silence. As Jung reminds us, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. So the next time you step into a room, a conversation, a crowd, remember this: your ability to observe, to choose, to remain human, is stronger than the instincts that once demanded conformity. And that is the quiet power of true human intelligence.
What you just heard isn't a theory, it's a pattern, one that hides inside ordinary moments, shared laughter, familiar faces, unspoken rules no one agrees to out loud. Complicit participation isn't something people like to recognize in themselves, not because it's rare, but because it appears in many forms: in fear, in silence, in curiosities people don't admit to having. Recognition doesn't require permission, it only requires attention. If you've noticed this pattern before, in a room, a group, or even yourself, leave your observation in the comments section below, not to explain it, simply just to acknowledge it. In the next video, we'll examine another pattern people instinctively avoid looking at, not because they don't understand it, but because once you see it, you can't unsee it.